Hi everyone, in today's video we're going to be looking at the very important skill of the observations that you need to be making while you're manoeuvring.
This video is sponsored by NordVPN.
If you think about it, the observations that you should be doing whilst you're manoeuvring are much more important than the accuracy. Most people, when they're learning to drive, and in fact when they go on driving tests, think the other way. They think, I've got to get it in between those lines, I've got to get it in between those lines. When in fact, if you are going to go on those lines, it's quite simple. You just stop, you check everywhere again, pull it forward and adjust. So where should you be checking before and during these manoeuvres? Well, quite simply, it's all around your car. You've got to check every area all the way around, including behind these pillars. Most instructors use a system called the 6-point check method to make sure it is safe all the way around our vehicle. Most of the time we're going to start off by checking our left shoulder. It's generally the least dangerous side to the most dangerous, but this may change depending on what you're doing. So we check the left shoulder and make sure it's clear in that area. We move all the way across this left side to the left-hand mirror. We're checking to see whether there's anyone catching us up round the side. We move ahead round the pillar to make sure it's safe in the left side. We look in front, we check a centre mirror, we check a right mirror and round this pillar, and then we check our final shoulder, which is the 6-point, to make sure it's clear over there. These checks need to be done quite quickly. I always use a phrase, your observation should be faster than your car. Most people go the other way round. They'll move the car quite quickly, but observe quite slowly, and that's when you're going to miss things. So how do you know what to do if someone is travelling towards or around your vehicle? Well, I use this. I say to people, if anyone's going to be within 2 or 3 car lengths of our vehicle within 2 or 3 seconds, we're going to stop. This isn't necessarily going to work for every single situation. There could be a scenario where you have a pedestrian that's walking away from your vehicle, but within 2 or 3 car lengths, but you'll still consider it safe to continue. So let's have a look at this while I do some manoeuvring, and I'm going to talk about what I see and what I need to do. So first of all, we're going to try a simple manoeuvre. I'm going to try a reverse bay in this quiet area of the car park, so you can get an idea of the tempo I'm checking compared to the speed that I'm driving. Before we move, same thing, check absolutely everywhere. No one's around, so I'm okay to continue. So I'll still keep checking, nothing's changed. And I'm going to position straight away so I can reverse back in a bay. And even now, I'm watching around as I get to my turning point. Each time you change direction, you need to do another check absolutely everywhere, because you stopping might encourage someone to walk behind you. So select reverse, prepare, then do some observations absolutely everywhere again. And if I'm okay, I can move and get on with my turning point. Because I've got the method that I use, I also know that this turning point is going to get me there or thereabouts into the bay I want to go to. So what can I do? Well, I can spend my time observing and looking round, and this reduces risk because I know it's going into that bay. I spend my time seeing whether anything's changed. Now, as I come into the bay, I go really slow, and that's really important to allow more observations and not just concentrating on my 2 lines that I'm trying to get in between. So I'm going super slow, make sure it's all clear, and I'm watching what I'm doing as well as all around the car. And when I'm happy, yeah, we're straight, we're pretty good, I can then spend the majority of my time looking out behind. Although the view is quite difficult on modern cars, it's still important just in case people walk. Then, when you reverse into the back of the bay, you keep checking, but then you're looking over the shoulder. But again, you can't stare too often. There could be something else happening. So keep checking round all the way until you're at the back of the bay. Now, I hope that footage didn't make you too dizzy, but it needs to be shown to show you the tempo that you need to be checking round. Do you work in that way, or do you tend to stare in your mirrors a little bit too much? Before we go any further, I'd just like to have a quick word about today's video sponsor, NordVPN. NordVPN is a virtual private network which gives you an encrypted private connection between 2 machines. When you use this service, any internet sites that track user data will see NordVPN's information rather than your information, and this can have many benefits. NordVPN has advanced anti-malware capabilities and has become much more than just a VPN. It's now a powerful cybersecurity tool. This is particularly useful for me as it checks all the files that are sent to me by my viewers for malware. NordVPN are currently offering huge discounts, but if you use my link in the description, you'll get an extra month free. You can easily choose where your connection seems to be originating from to help you keep your data safe, and you can also use it on 6 devices. It works on every major platform, including Windows, Android, iOS, macOS and Linux. And even your Android TV supports NordVPN. NordVPN is also fast. In fact, it's the fastest VPN out there. It's easy to use. It takes just a click. Open a map, click on a location, and you'll be connected in seconds. It's really that easy. If you get NordVPN using my link, it's risk-free because it's also covered by their 30-day money-back guarantee. I'm really happy with my subscription to NordVPN. Wherever I choose to travel, I know Nord's there in the background, keeping my data safe. Now, I'm going to go and try and find a situation where I have to deal with some more road users around me while I'm manoeuvring. I'm going to go and try and find a busy area to parallel park. This is a common road that myself and a fair few instructors do use for parallel parking, and we've got a nice victim out in front of us. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to leave it till we've got a few vehicles and then give you an idea of what we should be doing and when. It's really important, again, to be doing these quick checks around. However, you've then got to think whether it's time to stop or whether it's time to go. Remember, 2 or 3 car lengths, 2 or 3 seconds. There is a car approaching from behind, and when you're moving out, you shouldn't cause this vehicle any inconvenience. So I'm going to plan to go as soon as it's passed, after checking around everywhere. So there is a lorry coming up behind. Now, I've done a check everywhere, but I can get back to my turning point. So because the lorry's coming up, in fact, they've turned, brilliant. I was going to potentially continue, and I still can, because that van has also turned and the car is also signalling. Usually at this point, it's really important to make this assessment whether or not that we can swing out. We don't want to swing out and then cause an interruption of flow. If you've already got the swing on and then someone comes, that's different. They may have to let you finish. But what I'm going to do just at the moment, just because we've got the cyclist coming up, I'm just going to sit here because I can't complete my swing out before he gets to me. So he's going to be within 2 or 3 car lengths within 2 or 3 seconds. So a left signal to accompany my reverse lights, and I'm going to leave this left signal on to try and encourage this silver one to go past behind, and that's probably going to be the same for the next one. Now, I'm going to do a check around now, so I'm ready to move and steer, but I've changed my mind, and that's the importance of keeping checking, just to see what the other learner's doing. Again, I'm going to reapply the left signal. That should then encourage the learned vehicle to go round, which they are. So you've got to communicate with people, and again, it's clear just after. So check around everywhere, and on we go. So this point of swing out is really important to get right. You don't always have to stop at that turning point. What you can do, if you're good enough, is plan your observations as you're getting there, and if it's good, you just carry on. So it's all clear. There's no one walking on the pavement either behind me. So I'm going to get to my turning point and do my steering. If anyone was going to come down this way now, I might be tempted to carry on in certain situations. Like the white one, I'm happy with it, it's far enough away. So therefore, if I continue slowly, I'm actually getting out of its way. But if you're ever in doubt, stop. Check again before the next movement, and then finish off the manoeuvre. Now, this is a funny little point because people always say you should be checking out of the back more, which is correct because people could be walking across. However, the design of modern cars really doesn't allow you to see much out the back. I can only just see a little bit of pavement in between me and that silver car behind. So anyone smaller than me wouldn't see that pavement whatsoever. Therefore, they can't tell when to straighten up looking out the back. So you may have to do it with modern cars using the left mirror, but that's okay as long as you're doing these checks everywhere and moving slow enough. There's my straightening up, look out the back, and continue to stop. All good. Different situations require different decisions, but the only way you can decide on what to do is by seeing. Remember, your observations should be faster than your car is travelling. I know those two things shouldn't really go together, but they can, and I hope you can understand that from this video. I hope that my head cam didn't make you feel too sick, but hopefully it's given you an idea of exactly what you need to be doing when you're manoeuvring. Keep safe, everyone. I'll see you soon.